for all you guys that are out here helping us fight cancer. Next up we got Dr. Jonathan D'Cunha is going to come up. He's one of Karl's doctors, and he's over at the university, and that's where this money is going. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Jonathan D'Cunha.
Thank you very much. Happy Father's Day. My name is John D'Cunha. I'm a thoracic surgeon at the university. I was asked to give a few words about...
Talk into the mic! There you go.
Obviously, I'm not used to being on stage at these places. I've been asked to give a few words about the Karl Fund and how it's being used at the university. And as I thought about how I was going to be presenting that this evening, I'm used to speaking to a bunch of physicians. There's PowerPoint slides. This is obviously a little bit different venue. And I promised my wife I would not sing. I got kicked out of band in 5th grade, and that was the end of that. I often go on a run as I try to figure out things. And as I was running yesterday, I got a text from a colleague that said, "Never give up." And I know running and texting, it's not good. I looked at those words, and it occurred to me, and I'm sure I've heard them since 2005, but it really struck me. One of the last times I heard those words was in 2005 as we embarked on this mission to take care of Karl Mueller. And I'm not here to give a big downer speech about Karl, but I do want to honor some of the things that he brought to me and our team as a physician as we took care of him. Karl was an extraordinary individual. He was one of those people who had an affliction of cancer, a very rare cancer, esophageal cancer. And he fought the good fight. He exhausted all options before he came to us, chemotherapy, radiation therapy. He presented to us in 2005 with really no other options. And a team, myself, Mike Mattis, and George Adams at the university, took on the challenge of resecting his cancer. It was about a 10-hour operation, March 31st, 2005. I remember vividly because it was my birthday that day. And I got home, my wife said to me, "How did it go?" And I said, "We got it done." At the time, I didn't know Karl and the music scene. Karl was a family member, as every other patient is to us. And through an extraordinary next 10 weeks of taking care of him, he fought all the way until the end. And through that time, it was those words that he's told to me in the post-op period about never giving up on the fight for cancer, cure for cancer. Now, many of you in this room may not know much about esophageal cancer, which is really where the Karl Fund is centered. Esophageal cancer is it's one of the rarer cancers that afflicts about 20,000 Americans every year. That's not a small number by any means. And in this room alone, 4 people in their lifetime, and people you know, will be afflicted from the disease. And the problem with esophageal cancer is when people get it, they die. There's no middle ground. The survival rate for someone who walks in the door with esophageal cancer is about 5%. When we think about 5-year survival rate, it's really one of the horrible, horrible diseases we have. When Karl passed away, obviously we became very close through this whole time, both Karl and Mary Beth. And Mary Beth is one of those people who clearly was a strong influence and is still to this day. I think about Karl and Mary Beth often. Just this week, in fact, not related to this at all, I was doing an operation and actually we performed the Karl Mueller maneuver in the operating room, as I termed it. I'm not going to go into details about what that is because I think that would set Mary Beth back. But let's just say his legacy lives on at the university in the operating room. Like no other person that we take care of. The Karl Fund was established for the prevention, early detection, and novel therapies for esophageal cancer. The great thing about the Karl Fund is the way it's being used, it's not just about esophageal cancer. It translates to cancer in general, especially related to lung cancer, pancreatic cancer, cancer that's touched everyone in this room. In the laboratory, I just want to say a few words about that, about how it's being used, is we're developing novel techniques, therapies in our laboratory in the Thoracic Oncology Division at the University of Minnesota. And that's where the money raised tonight goes, to develop new therapies attacking cancer cells specifically through a molecular target in the esophageal cancer cells. And we made a lot of progress in the last several years. And it's only through efforts such as this and the seed money that was started in Karl's memory in 2005 that has allowed us to make that progress. Because as everyone knows, getting money for research these is very difficult. So as I reflect, I just wanted to give you a few thoughts on what I remember in taking care of Karl and how his legacy lives on. I am extremely indebted to Mary Beth Mueller for weathering the storm and putting this on tonight. And as we think about things, and I know Karl's looking down on this tonight and smiling, just like he is in the picture over there, this is about never giving up. It's never giving up on cancer. And I promise you, Karl, Mary Beth, that is the modus operandi when I go running, when I come to work, when we're taking care of patients who have cancer at the University of Minnesota. All right? Thank you very much for your attention.